You being there pretty, I would say early, and seeing the development and the growth of it, and being a part of it. Talk about just where it is today now.
It is, in many ways, unrecognizable, right? Like we have, Portnoy has become a megastar beyond anyone's wildest imagination, and well earned. Like the guy, like he makes a joke of it, and it's like for content, but he's like, I delivered all these papers, but he really did. Like he was in an Astro van, like handing out free newspapers at Boston train stops and cleaning bird shit out of like those newspaper containers. So I am like genuinely, because I've been a fan of Dave since 2005. So that's 18 years of following one guy's content and his life, because he just puts his whole life out there. I'm thrilled that he's a multi-millionaire, and he is also a great boss. Like he's a genuinely, like, people give him a lot of shit on the internet. I might not see eye to eye with him on everything, but you know exactly where you stand. He is so honest, and he worked really hard, and I feel like that is the formula. If you're a good guy and you work hard and you're smart, like, you're going to be able to be successful, and Dave knocked it out of the park. And the growth of it, like I said, like I started off as a fan, so seeing it as like the world's worst website in terms of like tech, which didn't really change until probably like 2017, to grow into this, it is like an impact brand. Like people, like Barstool moves the needle, and that's Dave, and you can't leave out Big Cat. Like Big Cat is a guy who really brought me in, and he's, if you're going to talk about like sports, like coaching trees, like we're on the Big Cat like coaching tree. It's crazy that it's gotten to this point. But I hope it's not even close to done, because I've put all my eggs in this basket. So I hope we continue to grow. Yeah.
So 2012, you said that's when you began.
Yeah. So I wrote one blog in August of 2012 that Notre Dame was going to go undefeated.
And they did?
And they did that year, but I was brought in to be the hockey guy, and I had a full-time job. So I wrote one blog, and then hockey was in a lockout, so there were no games going on. So I was just like not really doing anything. And then I got an email from KFC, who runs the New York site, and Big Cat hadn't been full-time hired yet. They had this other guy named Neil, who I hope he's doing well. I don't know where he went, but Big Cat kind of shout out Neil.
Yeah.
Neil for Neil. And so I got an email from KFC being like, hey, like, Neil's struggling. We're trying to consolidate the voices, so unfortunately we're going to have to let you go. So I got fired after one blog, but it was like the Kramer. I don't know if you guys watch Seinfeld, but it was like, well, I don't even really work here. So it's like no sweat off me. And so then in that transition time, hockey came back, and the Blackhawks were awesome that year. I was 13. And I emailed Big Cat being like, hey, like, I was brought on to be the hockey guy. I never wrote one hockey blog because I was fired before the season started. But like, you need a hockey guy for the playoffs. Like, I'd love to do it. He goes, all right, you can have a tryout for this first round, which is about 2 weeks. And if people like you, you can stay. And that was April 2013. So we're coming up on 10 years.
10 years.